My name is Gerald. I run a production company called Paper Street Production.
My name is Brian Ordiales. Nagtayo ako ng sarili kong negosyo. That's why we've met. So, I put up Cloud Studios. Direk, bakit nga ba naisip natin tong podcast?
Usually kasi pag naka-whiskey ka, mas open ka.
Mas open.
Diba?
Yeah. Ladies and gents, welcome to Life Over Whiskey Podcast, where we share valuable life lessons and stories you can learn from over a glass of whiskey. My name is Brian.
And I'm Gerald.
And welcome to another episode where we talk about a unique topic. And it's something that, two of us are not too familiar with.
Outsider tayo dito.
Outsider tayo dito, yeah. But our topic for today is, what are the struggles of a probinsyanong LGBT?
Ganda.
Ayan.
Ganda ng topic.
And,
natin.
andito pa din ang ating mainstay co-host, none other than Gia Santos.
Hi, hello.
Ayan. Thank you for being here, Gia.
At saka yung guest natin
Yung
ngayon,
guest natin.
pangalawang beses na.
So, again, this is a topic that we invited him specifically.
Yeah.
And to share on his insights.
Pero before he shares,
Okay, direct.
gusto ko lang, inspired ako sa story nitong taon to. Kasi I've known this guy for several years. I think that was 2011 when I met him. So, nakita ko rin paano siya nag-progress dun sa buhay niya. And then, syempre, pagka may mga, how do I say this, gatherings kami or like nag-out of the country kami for work, nasi-share niya yung story niya. So, sobrang inspired ako dun. So, that's why I wanted na ma-share niya sa audience natin.
Right.
Let's go,
And we've invited again, Ken Lerona.
Ayun.
Welcome back, Ken.
Medyo modulated yun.
Okay.
Lerona.
Ang suwabe ng intro.
Lerona. Yan.
So,
Thank you again for being here, Ken.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah.
Parang akala mo habang sasabihin.
Okay, parang nag-aantay kami.
Again.
Pero yun nga, no? Sige.
Pero itong topic na to kasi feeling ko it's something special for Ken. Kasi experience niya to Storya ng buhay niya yan
This is a story of
And
your life.
makikita natin yung point of view ng isang gay person. 'Di ba? Na paano ba yung struggle niya pagka nung pumunta siya sa Maynila, tapos pati sa corporate world, paano ba siya tinitreat ng mga coworkers niya?
Yeah.
'Di ba? Paano ba niya na-win yung respect ng ibang tao?
Yeah.
And same as also with you, Gia, 'di ba? Kasi I mean, Gia is bisexual, right? So, tignan natin yung point of view nilang dalawa kung paano. Tayo ngayon, makikinig lang tayo.
Makikinig
dalawa.
tayo.
Oo.
Ayan.
So, let's start with Ken.
Yes.
No,
So, Ken, what's your story?
I'd like to start this sa sinabi ni Je na parang it's curiosity. Kasi diba, that's actually the parang good start, a good beginning, no, to understand the struggles of LGBT people. And also, on the side of the LGBT, parang dapat tandaan din natin na the heteros are not always, knowledgeable on how to sensitively talk about this topic. So, being in this conversation right now, this is a good start. No? We're coming from a place of curiosity, tapos sincere tayo sa topic na pag-uusapan natin. Yun. So, my story. So, in the previous episode nga sabi ko, diba, I'm from Iloilo, I'm Ilonggo, no? I'm probinsyano, plus I'm a gay guy.
Pero ano ba, pamilya mo ba mayaman o hindi? I mean,
Hindi. I grew up in the public market.
Yeah.
So, naging public market vendor ako. Naging tricycle, well, hindi naman necessary tricycle driver na bumabiyahe, but I drove the tricycle to pick up live pigs sa bayan namin.
Wow.
Tapos, yun yung ibibenta namin the following day. I also, experienced being a fish vendor, a rice
Galing, no?
vendor, parang ganun. And even back in high school pa lang, I was doing all of those. Elementary pa nga lang yata
Isipin mo, ganun kagaling mag-English na English. Ay, na fish vendor at tricycle driver. Ay, ilagay na lang natin sa term na tricycle driver.
Yeah. And then, doon ako nag-aaral gumagawa ng assignments ko sa pwesto namin sa Palengke. It's a public market in a small town sa probinsya. Yun. But then I'm small. I'm just 5'2" yata ako ngayon. But imagine when I was growing up pa lang, diba?
Isipin mo yan.
Sobrang liit.
Hindi ka ganun katangkad, Gay ka, hindi ka nanggaling sa mayaman na
Privilege.
pamilya, pero you were able to make it. Isipin mo gaano kahirap yun. Diba? Hindi basta-basta yun. And now, yung position mo in life, yung career mo, maganda. So, ako lang dito, kahit papano, ang kailangan natin is appreciate yung ginagawa ng isang tao. Kasi hindi madali yun eh. How sure are you, tayong tatlo, kung nandun tayo sa position na yun, magagawa natin yun? Walang assurance yun.
Yeah.
Diba? So, yun nga, Ken. Ano ba ang naging struggles mo?
Yeah, walk us through your journey on how you're able to be here today.
No, basically that. I mean, being a minority, being an outcast, being a second-class citizen is motivation enough to, what the fuck? Do I want to be here all my life? No way, Jose. Diba? So, that made me realize na hindi ako pwedeng ganito palagi. So, I did all my best. I worked hard and long. Hard and long. Oh my God.
Eto na naman po tayo sa hard.
No, but yun, to be where I am right now. If, like, for example, physically, I'm not big, diba? But I need to be big in my presence or whatever. So, I did my best to, to get that space and time and presence, diba? To ang tawag dito? To instate, ilagay ko dito, ito ako eh. This is who I am, right? And I think that's the motivation why I am where I am right now.
But how does it feel pag kami nagtawag sa'yo ng bakla, pero that term is hindi piro? Yung parang to insult you, how do you feel?
Before and now. Siguro,
Before and now, yun yung ano.
Before, parang, so there was this kid, neighbor namin before, sabi niya, Ken, Agi. I mean, that's, Agi is bakla in Ilonggo, diba? And then I was just quiet. Tapos may mama saying, labanan mo.
Yes.
And I never saw the point bakit ko siya lalabanan, diba?
Correct.
But what I realized then was, if you allow people to look down on you, what the fuck? They will look down on you and even aapak-apakan ka pa nila, diba? But when I tried, later on, I realized na parang, kailangan ko tumindig para sa tumindig. Para sa sarili ko.
Yeah.
That's the time na, napatunayan ko na hindi pala pwedeng ganun ka na lang forever.
Correct.
Yun.
Ganda.
How about now? Kasi,
Yeah, how about now? Oo.
Subukan lang nila aking
fucking love that.
Yeah.
Pero ako naman, gusto ko naman makita ang point of view ng isang bisexual. Alam mo yun? Like, Gia sa'yo, kamusta naman working, sa corporate world? Before kasi di ba nagtrabaho ka sa isang company?
Pero tanong natin, do you come from a specific province then? Or dito ka lumaki talaga sa Maynila?
I grew up in Manila.
Manila. Oo. Pero like, yung mga may struggle ka ba? Like, kahit hindi work, yung tipong sasabihin, ay, bisexual yan si Gia. Parang, ano yung experiences mo sa ganun?
Well, first off, I want to explain na parang yung struggle is coming from people who don't understand what sexuality is. Na parang, kunyari, hindi clear sa kanila the difference of sexual orientation and gender identity. Like, I grew up I came from an all-girls school. And ang assumption is, if you're bi or if you have a girlfriend, may isang guy sa inyo, may isang girl. Correct. But it's not necessarily true kasi sexual orientation is different from gender identity.
Okay.
So, I guess explain natin, no? Yeah. Sexual orientation is who you sleep with, who you're attracted to.
Correct.
So, kung gay, bi, lesbian ka. Gender identity is what you identify as. So, kung male ka or female. And expression is how you express yourself. So, if you identify as female and you express yourself as female, then yun. But it doesn't necessarily define kung saan kanino ka attracted. So, for me, as a bisexual, I think that's one struggle. People not understanding that you can be bisexual and have a serious relationship with a guy. Kasi I encountered that before, like dating some guys, and some of them were like, ang isip lang nila, oy, cool, bisexual, pwedeng mag-threesome, mga ganun. Diba? They're sexualizing it. That's why they understand it. But and iba naman sabihin, uy, I remember I had an ex na guy, my first and only so far na boyfriend, and some people would tell him, uy, okay ka lang ba dyan? Bisexual yan, mamaya lokohin ka, ganyan. So, I guess that's the main struggle. Kasi college ko lang na-experience yun eh. Kasi high school and LM, all girls, it seemed normal. going out into the real world, doon ako na-expose na, hindi pala lahat ng tao naiintindihan to. So, yeah. And also that it's a spectrum na the sexuality is fluid.
Okay.
You can be bisexuality. Actually, sexuality overall is fluid In general, it's fluid. Parang you can be one closer to one end on the spectrum. So for example, ngayon, I am bisexual if you just want to put a label on it. But I'm on the spectrum towards the hetero end. But it doesn't mean that tapos na yun. Sabi niyo nga sa previous episode, magsalita ng tapos. So it's really...
So parang parang it's like 60-40 ka. Parang ganun.
Not more.
There's no such thing as that. It's like fluid. Wherever you're situated, you take that form.
Yes. Parang sa akin, love is love. Who you're attracted to doesn't need matter. Gender, parang love knows no gender for me.
Pero Brian, from this episode, ang dami natin nakikitang inputs na hindi natin nakikita as straight guys.
Yeah.
No?
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine,
totally
yeah.
Galing.
Totally fine.
Kasi, I mean, syempre, we have a certain perspective na
Yeah.
hindi namin naiintindihan. It's because, of course, like ikaw, kaibigan namin kayo. So, nakakuha kami insights. But, meron kaming sarili naming definition dahil hindi nga namin naiintindihan. But now, mas clear siya.
Yeah.
Kasi di ba nakikita natin yung point of view nila.
And tsaka ako, in my experience, Mondi, my fiance, really helps me out a lot to understand all of these concepts, kanyan. And sabi ko, ang hirap. Sorry. Ang hirap naman isipin lahat na itong mga to. Parang, do I really need to know every single thing? Maybe the answer is depende in your situation. Maybe if you wanna, it's a sign of respect, I guess.
That's
then
the right term.
Yeah.
Yes,
Kasi like,
respect.
it's hindi naman tayo na parang what's the proper term? Parang wala tayong willingness to learn or initiative to learn about it because wala pang situation where it needs for you to learn yung ganong concepts.
Pero to kikilitiin ko utak nyo.
Gusto namin yung kinikiliti.
Hindi.
In general.
Alam mo ba na ang gay and lesbian, pansinin mo, sila yung laging nagtatop sa mga careers.
Top.
Why did
Universal.
Seryoso, pansin ko, mas maraming successful na gay people and lesbian people. Pansinin nyo yun.
No, I think I know the reason.
Yeah, ang
Why?
reason
Why?
ko doon.
I'm curious as well.
Ako ang nakikita ko reason is that they have the best of both worlds eh.
It can be that.
Can be that.
Male and female. So, can you imagine yung strength na isang lalaki at strength na isang babae nakuha mo pareho?
What's your perspective on that, Ken?
Well, I'm looking at it from a point of view of being an outsider.
Okay.
Diba?
Okay.
Hindi ka na nga, di ba, recognized as babae or lalaki as based sa standard ng society or hindi ka na nga pogi, hindi ka matangkad, hindi ka ganyan. So, di ba, anong gagawin mo? You have to find a way para mas lumabas mag-stand out ka.
Yeah.
So, most of the time, the gay guys and, even the lesbians or whatever queer form, ginagawa nila, gagawin ko to. Which is actually, a survival means, no? Not necessarily always healthy, but ang nangyayari is...
Defense mechanism.
Yes.
Defense mechanism. Gagawin nila to para babawi sila, mag-overcompensate sila. So, either they really are so good in school,
Rich.
so good, rich, oo. Alam mo yung mga tita mo na, I can buy you, your friends in this club. Yeah, and things like that. So I think it's overcompensation. It's actually a side effect of the negative things that they are surrounded with
And dealing with, yeah.
Yeah. So they overcompensate and they make big in whatever they are in life, diba? Yun, I think yun eh.
So, nahirapan ka ba to climb the corporate ladder because you are a gay guy?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Because I'm smart eh. So
Confidence.
I mean, but being smart is actually well, one is a gift, but also you work hard to get to that level, right?
Correct.
So yun nga, maybe another form of overcompensation. Wala akong masyadong kaibigan before, so I just study and read and all that, diba?
Yeah.
And make sure that I have something between my ears, right? Otherwise, edi aapihin lang ako ng mga mang-aapi, ng mga malulupig, di ba? So I have to be that. And I was in the corporate world na. I had to make sure na I do something really great so that hindi na ako inferior or second-class citizen. Correct. So I think that's one of the things na bakit hindi ako masyadong nagsastruggle ngayon. Because I've already positioned myself to be where I am right now.
But
Who I am.
You know your
does
worth,
your,
your value.
Does your parents know?
Yeah. They do. Oo.
Pero wala ka naging struggle nung time na
Nag-open
sinabi
ka
mo
na?
na,
Oo.
Ma,
Mm.
gusto ko Barbie. Hindi ko gusto G.I. Joe.
Hindi. Kasi parang gradual yung ano. Hindi siya coming out party. No, it's a
Oh.
gradual. And I think
Gets,
they already
gets.
know about, my
Okay.
preference.
Inclinations.
Gets.
Yeah.
How about you, Gia? Does your parents know?
They knew about my first two relationships with girls.
Mm-hmm.
But I think factor din kasi that I was in high school back then. So they were thinking probably.
It's a
It's just a phase.
It's just a
Ganon.
phase.
Phase,
Yeah. So,
Sobrang common nung it's a phase.
Okay.
But I guess it's also important for us to realize that, it's not always a struggle na kailangan mong i-wrestle.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a, small microaggression sometimes, di ba?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a form of, hindi ka invited.
Oo,
Di ba? Those things, not necessarily as milestone, discrimination.
Correct.
But we have to be
Small
sensitive
things.
about it.
Or yung mga parang false assumptions agad about you just because of your gender
Diba,
identity
hindi
or
kesyo
sexual
bakla ka
orientation.
lahat ng lalaking makasalubong mo gusto mong ka-sex?
Exactly, ganun
Ang pangit kaya?
Ganun yung common no?
Pero, Ken, ako ito question lang. Since ikaw naman, you identify yourself as gay, and then you like men, ang tanong ko, is there a chance for you to change your perspective someday? Like, to have your own family?
I want to have my own family. It's a dream.
Okay.
And then yun nga kanina sabi natin, fluid, diba? Even if I identify myself as gay right now or homosexual, I'm still considering the fluidity of things.
Okay.
So it can be, sometimes I'm attracted with trans women. Yeah, and they're pretty. So I don't sabi niya nga, wag magsalita ng patapos. Yeah,
Okay.
And that's also a misconception. Pag bakla ka na lang forever. I don't know the scientific thing about it.
Yeah.
But it can be fluid eh.
Correct.
It is fluid.
Now, how about you naman? Sa'yo, ang tanong ko naman sa kanya, Bri, iba. Sa'yo ba, may chance din ba na instead of you settling sa opposite sex, you would just stay with someone with the same sex forever? Babaliktarin ko lang yung tinanong ko sa kanya. Kasi bi ka eh, di ba? So, gusto ko lang malaman. Kasi right now, alam ko you're still attracted to men. But, ang tanong ko, is there a possibility na parang, hindi ka na mag-asawa? Tapos, magsisettle down ka na with the same sex? Kasi marami akong kilalang successful na ganyan.
Yeah.
Marami. So, would you do that?
Naalala ko yung previous episode natin, logic versus emotions.
Okay.
So, logical mind ko is leaning towards ayoko. Kasi just to avoid complication, ayoko na mag-discipline sa family.
Correct.
I just wanna live a normal life para walang stress. Kasi yun nga, it's still not a norm and it's still maraming struggles. But again, like what we said, I'm not closing any door. I don't know what will happen in the future. I believe that sexuality is fluid or you don't know who you fall in love with. You can't control who you fall in love with.
That's true.
Correct. Ganda nun. Ha? Ganda. Ang galing ng topic natin today, no?
I guess both of us are somewhat educated a lot better. And hopefully, the audience as well. People who are listening on this episode, sana may natutunan kayo.
At saka sa mga guy friends din natin, parang it's a lesson also na, and also even females, no? Na wag natin i-judge yung LGBT.
Actually,
diba?
QIA+, plus na siya ngayon.
I mean, pag meron tayong hindi naintindihan, hindi natin naintindihan yung sila yung mali. Hindi pwedeng ganun eh. You have to understand everybody and respect everybody.
At the end of the day, we have to show respect to one another as human beings.
Correct.
Yes.
Now, in the way you interact with the person, yun nga, depende kung yung situation na ba na yun, kailangan mo matutunan siya. Diba? So, it's like showing like the respect due to that person.
Correct.
Right? So, with that.
And with that,
thank you so much for
thank you so
listening.
much.
Please
Thank
follow
you.
us on our social media platforms at Life Over Whiskey. And at Ken Lerona, if you wanna follow him, maybe
Engineer Raketera
and
right here.
Engineer kanina pa natin actually dapat please follow Engineer Raketera on Facebook and also on IG. Thank you so much. See you on the next episode.
Bye. Thank you.